The average investor earned 3.6% per year over the last 30 years. The S&P 500 earned 10%. That gap? It's not bad luck. It's not bad timing. It's not even bad advice. It's your brain. Specifically, it's a 50,000-year-old survival machine trying to trade 21st century markets and losing spectacularly. Daniel Kahneman spent 40 years proving that the same mental shortcuts that kept our ancestors alive on the savannah are quietly draining your portfolio right now. And today, I'm going to show you exactly how. Thinking Fast and Slow isn't a finance book. That's the first thing you need to understand. Daniel Kahneman was a psychologist. He won the Nobel Prize in Economics in 2002, despite never taking a single economics class, because his research with Amos Tversky broke something fundamental about how economists assumed people behave. The assumption was simple. Humans are rational. We weigh costs and benefits. We maximize utility. We make decisions that serve our long-term interests. Kahneman proved that's nonsense. We're not rational. We're rationalizing. There's a difference, and that difference costs investors billions of dollars every single year. Here's why this matters right now. We're living in the most retail investor-heavy market in history. Robinhood, Coinbase, zero-commission trades, crypto, options on your phone during your lunch break. More people are making more financial decisions faster than ever before. And every single one of those decisions is filtered through a brain Kahneman described as having two systems, one of which is spectacularly bad at investing. Let's get into it. Lesson 1. System 1 is running your portfolio, and it shouldn't be. Kahneman's big idea is that your brain has two modes. System 1 is fast, automatic, emotional. It's what recognizes a friend's face, dodges a falling object, feels fear when the market drops 3%. System 2 is slow, deliberate, analytical. It's what does long division, reads a 10K, actually calculates whether NVIDIA at 40 times earnings makes sense. The problem? System 2 is lazy. It burns glucose. It's tiring. So System 1 makes almost every decision you make, including the ones involving your money. When you see a stock drop 8% and feel the urge to sell, that's System 1. When you see a friend make 300% on a meme coin and feel the urge to buy in, that's System 1. When you have a good feeling about a company, that's System 1. System 1 evolved to keep you alive. It did not evolve to allocate capital. Lesson 2. Loss aversion is why you hold losers and sell winners. Kahneman and Tversky discovered something remarkable. Losing $100 hurts roughly twice as much as gaining $100 feels good. 2 to 1. That asymmetry is hardwired. Here's what that does to your portfolio. You buy a stock at $50. It drops to $40. Selling means admitting you were wrong. It means realizing the loss, making it real. So you hold, and hold, and tell yourself it'll come back. Meanwhile, you buy another stock at $50, and it goes to $60. You feel the itch to sell. Lock in the win. Take the gain before it disappears. This is called the disposition effect, and it's the exact opposite of good investing. You should cut losers quickly and let winners run. Most investors do the reverse, not because they're stupid, but because their wiring demands it. Peter Lynch said it best. Investors cutting their flowers and watering their weeds. Lesson 3. Anchoring makes price targets meaningless. Kahneman ran an experiment where he spun a rigged wheel that landed on either 10 or 65, then asked people what percentage of African countries were in the UN. The people who saw 65 guessed way higher than the people who saw 10. A random number changed their answer. That's anchoring, and it destroys investors. You bought Tesla at $250. Now $250 is your anchor. If it drops to $200, you're losing money. If it goes to $300, you're winning. But the market doesn't care what you paid. The stock's future performance has nothing to do with your cost basis. Yet, you'll make decisions based on that number for years. Lesson 4. The availability heuristic makes you buy the top. Kahneman found we judge probability by how easily examples come to mind. If something is vivid, recent, or heavily covered, we overestimate it. This is why people pile into stocks at exactly the wrong time. When every headline is about AI, when your Uber driver is giving you tips on Palantir, when CNBC runs a market at all-time high banner for the 40th day. That's availability. Your brain concludes, everyone's making money in this. I should too. The data is brutal here. Morningstar studies consistently show that investors' biggest inflows into any asset class happen right before the peak. Biggest outflows happen right after the bottom. Availability is the reason. Lesson 5. Overconfidence, especially in men, is wildly expensive. Kahneman has a whole section on what he calls the illusion of validity. We believe our forecasts are more accurate than they actually are. Experts believe it. Amateurs believe it. Everyone believes it. A famous study by Brad Barber and Terence O'Dean looked at 35,000 brokerage accounts over 6 years. Men traded 45% more than women and underperformed by nearly 1% per year because of it. Every trade has costs, taxes, and opportunity costs. And every trade reflects a belief that you know something the market doesn't. Usually, you don't. Lesson 6. The narrative fallacy makes every expert sound brilliant. After the market closes, someone on TV will explain exactly why stocks went up or down that day. Investors weighed the Fed's cautious tone against stronger than expected earnings. It sounds authoritative. It's also, almost always, complete fiction. Kahneman showed that we construct narratives after the fact to make random events feel inevitable. Markets move for millions of reasons, but your brain demands a clean story, so you get one. And then you use that story to predict the next move, which, unsurprisingly, doesn't work. Lesson 7. You think you're patient. You're not. Every investor thinks they'd have held through 2008, through 2020, through the dot-com crash. The data says otherwise. Kahneman's work on prospect theory shows that projected pain and actual pain are completely different emotional experiences. When your portfolio drops 40% on paper, it feels abstract. When it drops 40% in your actual account and your spouse is asking what happened, that's System 1 territory. And System 1 sells. So what does the book get right, and where are its blind spots? What it gets right is foundational. Kahneman gave us the vocabulary to even talk about why we sabotage ourselves. Before thinking fast and slow, behavioral finance was a niche academic field. Now, it's the default lens through which serious investors view themselves. Every good fund manager I've studied, Howard Marks, Ray Dalio, Charlie Munger, essentially built their edge on recognizing these biases in others and suppressing them in themselves. But here's the critique, and it's a big one. Kahneman himself admitted, near the end of his life, that parts of the book haven't held up. The priming research, studies suggesting subtle cues change your behavior in dramatic ways, has largely failed to replicate. In 2017, he publicly acknowledged he'd put too much faith in underpowered studies. That's intellectually honest. It's also a warning. The second blind spot. Knowing about a bias doesn't eliminate it. Kahneman said this directly. He spent his entire career studying these mistakes and still made them. So the idea that reading this book will fix your investing is naive. Awareness is step one, not the destination. Third, and this is where I'll get slightly opinionated. The book undersells how much systems and rules matter compared to insight. You don't beat your biases by being smarter than them. You beat them by building structures that make biases irrelevant. Automatic contributions, rebalancing rules, written investment policies. The smartest investors don't rely on willpower. They rely on process. So here's the one thing to do today. Not tomorrow, today. Write an investment policy statement. 1 page, maybe less. On it, answer 4 questions. 1. What percentage of your portfolio is in stocks, bonds, and cash? Not what you want it to be, what it actually is right now. 2. Under what specific conditions would you buy or sell? Not when I feel like it. Specific rules. I rebalance when any asset class drifts 5% from target. I contribute X dollars on the 1st of every month, regardless of market conditions. 3. What will you do when the market drops 30%? Write the answer before it happens, because I promise you, the version of you that exists during a crash will not be the thoughtful person writing this down now. 4. What are you not going to own? What's on your never list? Meme stocks, leveraged ETFs, individual crypto tokens, whatever. Commit to it. This document is your System 2 talking to your future System 1. When the panic hits, you don't make a decision. You follow the one you already made. That's how you neutralize Kahneman's entire book in a single page. Here's the question I want you to sit with. If you've known about loss aversion and anchoring and overconfidence for years, and most of you watching this have, why do you still make the same mistakes? Maybe the problem was never information. Maybe it's that investing isn't an intellectual game at all. It's an emotional one, wearing an intellectual costume. The people who win aren't the smartest. They're the ones who built a cage around their own instincts and threw away the key. If this changed how you think about your portfolio, subscribe. We break down one great book every week and pull out what actually works in the real world. Your future self, the one who didn't panic sell, will thank you.